Is my makeup good? I'm gonna make sure. Gotta look good for YouTube and shit. Well, the entire fucking carnivore world is on fire. That's right. Everybody is just fucking in this drama. It's just exploding throughout the carnivore community. And it's making me wonder if we're out of our fucking minds. Maybe eating all this meat and raw meat and all of this shit is completely turning us into miserable pricks. I don't get it. Why? Why? So in case you're in the dark about what's going on, I follow a lot of the raw carnivores right now because I am curious how they are reacting to their diet. I have not gone out so far. I only go really, and I do go really fucking rare. On my red meat, I haven't done any raw eggs or any fermented fucking rotten meat, high meat, Jonas von der Planet's fucking taint shit. I haven't done any of that. But I am curious. I'm watching people anecdotally do these things. And, you know, there's a couple people that are pretty notorious in the community, and a lot of you who watch me, I share audiences with these individuals. You guys tell me about them periodically in the comments. Every once in a while, you guys send me a video of theirs to go look at. And recently, I just came across Frank Tufano, who's he did carnivore for 6 years, not raw carnivore. Apparently, he's only been doing that for a little while. And he's taking his shit on it. He no longer believes in von der Plants. He's had some health issues arise, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But the main focus of this video is, are you in a fucking cult? Do you feel like you're in a cult? I mean, we get so full of ourselves when we start feeling better, and we try and just really think that our way is the way. Now, I've always said I'm not a fucking expert, and the reason for that is because I don't want you to take my word and go and do something that is for your health. Now, I give you my opinions based on my experience, based on my research. But bottom line, if you just follow what I'm saying, and you don't go out and look at this stuff yourself, sit through these lectures yourself, and these lectures aren't given by people that are kind of, they're educated people that are giving their biased point of view in many cases, but they're presenting you with the data that they have. And then it's up to you to decide what you believe, what you don't believe, what kind of diet works for you. And then you'll go out and try it. But you should never follow someone like Sv3ridge or whatever, follow the fuck you say his name, or Frank Tufano, or Vegetable Police, or myself, or anybody that is just a regular motherfucker on here talking about these diets. Not even Snake Diet, motherfucker. Now, I've watched, I don't follow all of these individuals, although I do watch Vegetable Police quite a bit because he's fucking hilarious. But in my quest to accumulate anecdotal stories from people, I do lend more weight to the non-YouTubers that are just kind of, telling their story. They got maybe 100 subscribers. I give them a lot more weight. Often than people I feel are just kind of like Dr. Berg, I feel is just pandering to his audience at this point, trying to sell supplements. And, Thomas DeLauer, same thing, just pandering to the audience and often regurgitating the same fucking videos over and over again. But you got to understand, I know you'll have there's people you're a fan of. I have some fans. Sv3ridge has some fans. I still can't fucking get his name right. Frank Tufano has fans. We all have fans of our channels. But you shouldn't ever take advantage of your fans. And there is a tendency for some people to treat us like we're fucking leaders and shit. When we're not. We're just normal motherfuckers with a camera and the ability to talk to that fucking camera nonstop and then edit the shit. Everything I've done on my channel is something that you can do. You can go out and learn this stuff. You can do these self-experiments without any real risk of harming yourself. Now, I don't say, hey, just because I did it and didn't die, that doesn't mean you should do it. Do your homework. Talk to your doctors. If you're on medication especially, but don't, start getting into this mode that the evangelical vegans have been, professionals at. And that I feel that carnivore is moving that way. You got evangelical carnivores on one side, and then you got you got the evangelical vegans on the other side. You got Freely the Banana Girl versus Sv3ridge at this point. And that's not helping anybody. And my advice to Sv3ridge, if he by any chance watches my shit, which I doubt, Frank Tufano probably isn't going to watch my shit either. None of these fuckers are going to watch me, I don't think. I know Primal Edge Health has occasionally caught some of my stuff. I know Keto Connect has, because they've messaged me. And even Stephanie Keto Person from back in the day. I haven't heard from her. I had to check and see how she's doing. These are all people that have commented and let me know, but I think they just watched one video and moved along, and I can tell you that's pretty much what I have to do in often cases, because I only have so much time in my day to do my research portion that I do for my videos. But at the same time, I've never followed any of these YouTubers, even when I was in the beginning and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I never followed them with this cult-like mentality of, everybody who contradicts the person I follow is wrong, or personally attacking motherfuckers that, and I hope that none of these people I'm talking about today takes that this is a personal attack. I'm just trying to get through to this is not how we help people. It isn't. You don't help people by attacking each other and saying, well, that fucker's wrong and this fucker's wrong, and even turning the attacks personal. Like Sv3ridge was calling Frank Tufano. He made a video calling him gay. And Frank went on and responded by smearing all kinds of wacky shit that Sv3ridge has said. Now, Sv3ridge. Someday I'll figure your fucking name out. He's said some tinfoil hat shit over the years. It gets a little far out there. That's my opinion. That's not a personal attack. I just don't jump on board. Now, his vegan interviews, and I've even had some of you comment in my comments and tell me that his vegan interviews are spot on. And I agree. And that's why I still watch some of his stuff. But some of the stuff that he's doing is very cult-like mentality. And, first let's start with some of the drama, how I got sucked into this. I wasn't even in on this at ground zero. I was looking through my feed, and Frank Tufano happened to have a big fucking 2-hour live stream.
So I was like, well, it might be a good idea to disassociate myself with his ideas, and let's see if this is true.
Now, you're not associated with Sv3ridge. No one's making that connection. All right? We all know these people as individuals, and you all have your own quirks. I think Sv3ridge gets a little nutty with some of his other content. That's just my opinion. And it's up to the individual. It's a matter of subjectivity at that point. I think Frank Tufano thinks he's kind of right about everything all the time and seems to project that. And he feels like he's got this need to police other YouTubers because we might be giving dangerous information. it's true. There are some but the vegans have been doing it forever, and nobody's really, I don't think, died because they went vegan that I'm aware of. I know their health declines, but it's a slow decline, and it's still, that's their individual choice. I'm not about silencing vegans or, banning them or shutting them down and making sure that they can't, as a human being who was on the standard American diet with failing health, there was no one person that I followed to make my decisions. I kind of just researched and researched and researched and listened to lectures from scientists, from doctors, from dietitians, and I got the whole spectrum from our traditional eat less, move more bullshit all the way up to a low-fat diet, Mediterranean diet, vegan diet, keto, carnivore. I've run the full spectrum. And what I try to tell everybody is you should do that same thing. Don't get locked into this echo chamber, which is what some of our channels have become. It's why I keep making shit that has absolutely nothing to do with shit sometimes, because I get tired of repeating myself and saying the same shit I've been saying for pretty much the past 3 to 4 years here on YouTube. I think it's been 4 years now. And we gotta wake the fuck up and open ourselves to other opinions, even if we don't agree with them. And there's some opinions I strongly disagree with. That doesn't mean I feel the need to go and personally attack or take these motherfuckers down or do these drama videos. Because that's kind of a cult-like behavior. It's straight up. You don't want anybody disputing your facts, because you might be wrong, and I might be wrong. Sv3ridge might be wrong. Vegetable Police probably is fucking wrong. It's hard to tell. He keeps going to the hospital and shit. But that doesn't mean that they're bad people or they're doing, or that they suck. And one of the dangers of being a YouTuber is we're public figures. People are constantly going to be evaluating us and our behavior and the things we say and do, how we look on camera. I get comments all the time. I'm sure I know Frank Tufano does. The running joke is the whole he's wearing makeup thing. And who gives a shit if he's wearing makeup? I don't give a shit. Of my honest opinion, he looks like he's wearing makeup. But who gives a shit? What's that got to do with anything? Sv3ridge, constantly doing the tinfoil hat shit. And I'm just not into that. I watch some of it for entertainment, and I am entertained, but I don't buy into it, so to speak. I do my things too that people probably think are fucking wacky at this point, like this whole starting the other platform shit, because I think I see the writing on the wall with censorship and YouTube becoming more of a TV-like platform instead of a freedom of speech platform. And that bothers me, but these are things I'm passionate about, and I share them with you. At the same time, I'm a human being. I'm going to do something fucked up at some point, and somebody's going to call me out on it. And that's part of being in the public eye, And I understand that. That's why I try to be as honest as I can on here. When I fuck up, I tell you. If I eat something that's not, in my diet or that came out of Von der Planet's ass, or I go out to the bar and tie one down, I don't want to be judged by that. So I find it's best just to lay that out there. Yeah, I do this. And it was implied, well, let me play another clip, but it was implied that Sv3ridge, A, does not follow a full raw carnivore diet, which he responds to, that he drinks water when he goes around saying he doesn't drink much water, and he drinks the shit out of water. There's things going out there that he drinks fucking fruit juice. I don't know. This is all he said, she said shit. And really, there's no way of other than catching him on a viral video doing it. It's still just other people's word against his. And when it comes down to it, does it really matter what he does with his life? It doesn't. I think he's doing some fucked up shit. We're going to get into that a little bit. And I want to give some advice to him. I want to give some advice to Frank and any other YouTuber who by some chance stumbles on my shitty little video here. I just want to say that we need to, yes, we need to be accountable for our actions. I agree with that because we are helping people. We are giving advice. And we need to be responsible about that, you know, and let people know that we're not doctors, we're YouTubers. We're people that are telling our anecdotal story and experience that for people to benefit from. And you should be putting it in those terms. You should be saying this is just my opinion. You shouldn't be condemning somebody that has an alternate opinion. Now, I don't believe in vegan shit. I don't like any vegan shit out there. I would argue all day with a vegan, and that's fine. It's fine to argue your opinion versus their opinion and so on and so forth. And I think that kind of discourse can be healthy because that allows an individual to make a decision. You know, for example, would Frank Tufano or Sv3ridge, would they interview a regular happy vegan and kind of have a nice intellectual debate? No, they're interviewing ex-vegans who've attributed all their symptoms to their diet, and I agree that the vegan diet does have those effects, but that's my opinion. I can't sit here and say for sure that the vegan diet does this. I'm just saying I hear a lot of motherfuckers quitting the vegan diet for health reasons. I also hear a lot of carnivores saying they're having positive benefits. And now we have the raw carnivores saying the same thing. Does that mean I'm ready to go out and fucking chow down on some fucking chicken, like a whole chicken with his asshole hanging out of my mouth in front of a bunch of No. And we need to not behave that way, I think, unless otherwise we invite this exact kind of fucking drama that's going on in the raw carnivore sphere. I wouldn't even qualify this as the carnivore sphere because to me, people like Amber O'Hearn and Sean Baker, who has had his share of fucking drama, who's very cult leader-ish in his ways as well, but at least he's a little more reasonable about his approach as far as I could tell. But if you really want to be taken seriously, you got to not do this shit. So now my point of this video is don't be a cult leader and don't be a member of a cult. Be a regular motherfucker that has done this, has these experiences. Share those experiences. And if someone else had a different experience, that doesn't make them a bad person, doesn't make them wrong. There's, you know, this whole thing has been ridiculous. Like, I wasted 2 hours of my life on this shit. I got sucked into it because everybody likes a good drama. And I'm sure that plays a factor in the fact that these are blowing up. But we got a lot of people listening to us. You know, I've never in a million years imagined I'd hit the 1 million view mark for the channel, and I have now. And that's a lot of scrutiny for one person to have. And I know that's just like a drop in the bucket. I'm still a very small channel. So it would mystify me if I had videos with millions of views. And I know that the more people watch my shit, the more people are going to be looking at me, looking at my past, looking at how I look, looking at how I act in public. Phones are everywhere now. You're fucking up out there and you're famous, guess what? Somebody's going to have their phone pointing at you. So if you want to not be judged, just act in a way like you're being filmed all the time instead of just acting one way in front of a camera and another way off the camera. You know, that's kind of my point. There are things I don't share on here that I believe are part of my personal life that I want to keep part of my personal life. But that doesn't make any of the information I do share on here any less valuable or important. And maybe some of us are guilty of sharing a little too much on here. And when you do, you can't be surprised that there's people out there that are going to take a shit on that. We got to really just start taking some accountability in terms of not becoming an evangelical nutrition cult leader. All right? The vegans are the reason why there's so many vegans failing in their health right now is because of this exact mentality, this exact way of getting it across. You know? And I hadn't seen much of it in the keto community prior to this. It's always been a little bit of friction between the keto community and the vegan community for obvious reasons. But now that we've got carnivores coming into the picture, and now that we've got raw carnivores, even another level of controversial diet, there is more and more personal attacks. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of vegan, carnivore, back and forth. But I think it's becoming more toxic now. Like, now you've got just, my playlist is full of fucking vegan, anti-vegan, pro-vegan. Like, I got a bunch of people in my fucking recommended with thumbnails of vegans with bananas in their mouth in a very phallic kind of way. I mean, come on now. Aren't we above that? Aren't we grown fucking adults on here, I would hope, that could get our point across without doing the clickbait bullshit? Because that's all this is, by the way. With this YouTube drama, and I clicked it, I fell for it. I'm no different than anybody else, really. You know, this clickbait drama is just exactly what it is. It's to get clicks, you know? Which is, I guess, from a business perspective, I guess if that's how you want people to view. But I believe if you do that, you're essentially polarizing everybody. You're polarizing your audience. Because you might accidentally shit on someone that they like. And then you could potentially lose people that way. And if it gets really bad, your whole channel can go to shit. And you can get banned. Like Vegan Gains. Who's now still talking shit, but he's doing it on someone else's channel at this point. And, you know, and a lot of people thought that was, like, a lot of you came on to the comments and thought that was a righteous banning. And I don't agree with his shit that he says. He's out of his fucking mind. I mean, he's sitting there cocking guns at the screen and shit. But that's a clear violation of YouTube's policy, and I don't necessarily agree with that. He's not breaking any laws that I'm aware of. He would have got arrested if that was the case. He is implying that he would hope people die, but not necessarily threatening to do the deed. I don't think he should have been banned. You know, maybe warned. Maybe take down the videos that were offensive and say stop it. And, you know, and maybe that approach would work. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But banning him hasn't even worked. He's still out there producing all kinds of videos. But he's just as toxic. And I think that our behavior in the carnivore community is drifting towards that toxicity, that exact level of toxicity, and it's going to get worse. And if you want people to switch their diet from the standard American diet, and they see you acting ridiculous in all kinds of drama and all kinds of bullshit, they're not going to change their diet. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to take you seriously. You know, it is what it is. So, my advice to all of these motherfuckers is just tell us what you did. Tell us fucking how you eat. Tell us all of the information. Give us your blood tests. Tell us all of your story, your journey. Share every bit of it. Share the good and the bad. Don't just try and make yourself look like you're doing the best fucking diet of the planet and that every other diet is wrong. You know, I always try to go into specifics. I believe the standard American diet's wrong. Yet I'm surrounded by people still eating it. And I'm not out there constantly beating them over the head being like, you're going to fucking die with that. You're going to fucking get cancer. You're going to fucking have autoimmune problems. You're going to have a fucking grabber. And that's not what I do. Who the hell would hang out with me if I did that all the time? Now, if somebody asks, or they're interested in what I do and the opinion, I'm fucking, that shit just falls right out of me, naturally. But when you're doing that here on YouTube to people you don't agree with, it's essentially going to cause that same response. The thing is you're not just going to get the person you're criticizing and their response. You're going to get the response of all of the people that like that particular person. So I think in the long run, it's just toxic clickbait that after a while people do grow tired and move on. So if you want to stay as a long-term YouTuber, someone that I would watch regularly, you gotta avoid the drama. I've hardly watched Sv3ridge's shit now because of all the bullshit drama. You know, I don't like the shit that he's doing outside of the vegan interviews. I've watched some of his talking head stuff. I'm just like, no, not really. And it's the same now with Frank. Now, when I started watching Frank Tufano, he had some good shit, you know, some good quality shit. But now he's getting sucked into the business side of it where drama pays, and it does. You know, you get lots of views, you get lots of clicks. Every video I've done, and I've done a few of these types of videos, the Jillian Michaels video went pretty far. I've done videos on different YouTubers whom I agreed with or disagreed with, or whom I wanted to kind of have a dialogue about in the past, but I always kept it fairly like, this is how, with the exception of Jillian Michaels, who is just assaulting keto and without any knowledge, and all I wanted to do was bring attention to the fact, not to mention I disagree with her treatment. But at the same time, I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I don't want her fucking show or whatever book she's promoting or whatever the fuck she does now that I will never fucking participate in and watch. I don't want anything bad to happen. But every time I do one of those videos, or the time I responded to the vegan hater, all of those videos shot up in views, shot up in watch time. Made a good amount of money on each one of those videos through ad revenue. More than I thought the video was worth. And so make no mistake, all these YouTubers doing this, they know that this is generating ad revenue. And I guess you do what you do to survive, but I don't do that kind of content very often. I do react to things, I do react to articles, I give my opinion, and I pretty much leave it at that. I don't go out seeking drama. I'm not putting myself in drama situations for the most part, and I hope this doesn't become a drama situation. That's why I'm not even clickbaiting. I'm not even putting the title that way. But the main point of this video is not an individual insult to Sv3ridge or Frank or any of these other YouTubers who are out like freely, Vegan Gains, all of these YouTubers, some of whom I find very toxic. The point is I want to get through to these people, and I hope that they're beyond this pettiness, and they legit want to help their subscribers get better health and feel better and have better mental health and have a better life. I get away from this drama shit. That's what I think should happen. I think we need to just stop and realize that you start to get a little full of yourself when your diet's working for you and you got a shit ton of motherfuckers watching your shit. That it can get to your head. Don't let it get to your head. At any time, this shit could go down, by the way. For those of you big YouTube, I don't care how big a YouTuber you are, sometime the public can come for you, and that'll be that. And not only will it destroy your channel, it'll destroy your life. You won't be able to get a fucking job, and your reputation will be destroyed. So, I don't know, be careful on how much mud you're throwing around and how much shit you're slinging. And that's what I want to get, in case, on the off chance that any of these motherfuckers watch my shit. But let's go through it a little bit. I do want to comment on a few things to give some more specific examples.
So we're about to go to dinner, just he, Luna, and I. And we're walking around Phoenix. He's filming, and I'm like, okay, what do you guys want to eat? Like, what would you like to eat? And he says Burger King. And I don't even take that as like a serious comment, because why would I take that as a serious comment? It's Sv3ridge. He only eats raw meat. He doesn't drink water, whatever. And at this point, I think he was dead serious. And so we walk around for like 30 minutes, and Luna's just like cold and like about to cry and is like all upset. And she won't say anything. He won't say anything. Like they just aren't acting like adults at all. And I think it's because they wanted cooked food and they just didn't want to admit it. And so we're walking around. I'm like, you guys, I'm so exhausted. Like, let's just figure out what we're going to eat. Can we please figure out? And he's like, well, I don't know. He was being so weird and just like condescending. And it was one of the weirdest situations of my life. So finally he says, I was like, can we go to a steakhouse? Like, that's what I would like is some steak. Like maybe they'll give it to you rare. And he's like, only if it's a Brazilian steakhouse, which I've never been to a Brazilian steakhouse. I didn't know it's like $60 a plate.
Sv3ridge, of course, responds to this, but I just wanted to comment and say, because this is the thing that's ignited this shitstorm of drama that probably is going to go on for a little while because it's very clickbaity. And this is one of those ex-vegan videos, and apparently she did one with Sv3ridge. She sought all of this attention out. You can go to her channel and see all this. You can watch these. I'll link to this interview on Frank Tufano's channel. I'll link to Sv3ridge's response video. But most of you already know about all of this, and it's just kind of my comment. But if you don't, you can find these people, including her. She's brand new to the YouTube scene, has hardly like 500 subscribers, but she's getting like 15, 20,000 views here. And the problem with starting your channel off on a drama note, you're not going to get a very good audience. You're not going to get positive feedback. You're going to get like a 50% like ratio on your fucking videos. And really, if you're getting a 50% like ratio on your videos, you should probably be thinking about why that is. I've maintained like ratio throughout my channel in the 90% range. There's a couple times it's dipped down to the 80% range, and it's usually when I get into the mud a little bit without rolling around too deep. But Sv3ridge, of course, responds to this. But I want to say, who gives a shit? Maybe he was having a fucking cheat day. Maybe he has a bunch of cheat days. Maybe he cheats once a week. And then I think that would be a bad idea. That's my opinion. If you're going to go raw carnivore, you got to go all the way. Not step in and out. But here's his response.
Just to clarify, and I've said this before a million times, I do eat rare meat on special occasions, and I'll never be dogmatic about diet after veganism anyway, so I really don't give a shit if somebody would care that I don't eat 100% raw if it's 99.99% if I eat rare meat on birthdays, which is cooked for a minute outside. What the fuck do I give a shit? So yes, that's how Brazilian restaurants serve it. I don't care, man. It makes no difference to me. And also, Frank actually made this video, and it was taken down after around 200.
So that's another, he's about to get personal again. He opened that video with a personal attack. That really isn't informative, isn't helping anybody. And it's one of the reasons I don't watch him regularly, to be honest with you. He's just rolling around in the mud, and there's enough of that in society. If I really want to watch that all fucking day, I can go watch it. So, and the thing is some of these videos with Sv3ridge, he sounds like a reasonable motherfucker, but then he does shit like this.
Okay, how are you?
How are you? Sorry.
So I'm sure you guys understand why we're here. That we're obviously offended by what you're doing.
Although I don't think it was the police's place to talk shit because people are
We're just
offended.
peacefully eating. We haven't done anything.
Why are they offended? They're offended because they don't believe in eating animals.
I have a problem with this, by the way.
We have done that for over centuries. That's how we, sustained our existence.
He just gnaws on it like, I'm just going to keep eating my chicken and shit.
By cutting out our essential nutrients.
So, Now, I have a problem with the cops on this one because last I checked, being offensive is not a crime. However, I guess they had some permits, so they made him move. But that being aside, I watched that whole video. And, you know, it's worth a watch, but kind of anticlimactic, really, because maybe two vegans talked to him. There was no... And, of course, the event coordinator who went to the cops, they kept filming her, and but that kind of behavior isn't going to change a vegan's mind. You're just essentially doing what they've been doing, and their cult is going up, and you're having a cult war at this point. And that's what, you know, I know you feel like, you know, they say this in the video, that you have to, you know, kind of shock them into listening to you. That's not really what happened. If you watch the vegans who actually talked to them, they were just combative, standoffish. There was no, like, middle ground left. Nobody said, oh, well, he's doing that. Sign me up. Where's my fucking dead chicken? You got any extra dead chickens? You know, can I try some of your dead chicken? Can I dip it in that blood that's all over your fucking body? We're acting a little ridiculous here. And this is the kind of shit that maybe not takes Sv3ridge seriously. That doesn't mean I don't occasionally watch the vegan interviews, because I am wanting to hear people's stories. I do want to hear their health issues, because when you listen to a bunch of them, you tend to start to hear the same things that they're having problems with, and then you can associate those things. It's very scientific and epidemiology shit. You can associate those things with the vegan diet at that point. So I can't take Sv3ridge seriously when he's doing this. That doesn't mean that I want him to stop. It doesn't mean I'm going to roll around in the mud with him. It just means he needs to, I don't know, think about this. What kind of audience do you want? There's further reputation smearing. People are saying that he doesn't really eat raw all the time. There's people saying that he's sick. There's rumors going around about, you know, that whether or not he's for real or if he's just putting on a show and trying to shock and awe his way into YouTube stardom. But I do think if you rise in views and you drive this traffic to your channel in a toxic way, you're going to end up with a toxic audience. You know, there's going to be people that watch you just because they want to fuck with you and hate on you. The more toxic you are. Long time ago, I had a YouTube channel, and I was probably pretty toxic at that point. I was bitching all the time. It was a very negative channel, and I didn't have the greatest community back then because some people just would show up to troll me and did all kinds of bullshit. And, you know, I got rid of the channel because I didn't like the community, and I didn't like what I was doing, and I knew that the only reason the community was like that was because of my behavior. It is possible to learn and grow as a human being, and I think Sv3ridge could still turn it around, because everybody that I've listened to on this drama thing has stated that the vegan interviews are spot on. You seem like a reasonable motherfucker when you do them, and you do. But when you sprinkle in shit like this, it takes away from those and the value of those. You know, there's videos I've watched where he mostly just sat there and listened to the vegan tell their story, and that's fine. That's fine. Ask a question here and there, it's all good. But this, this isn't the first time he's done this, marching around a vegan event, you know, just in people's faces. And now he's got more people with him to do it, and it's just going to turn into shit. You're not going to help people that way. Help people by informing them, showing them things that'll help them get healthy. They'll in turn go do their research to confirm or deny whether or not you're right. Then they will try these things themselves, and eventually, if it worked, they're going to tell you. If it didn't work, they're going to tell you. And that should allow you to tailor your message, and just don't be so full of yourself that you know, you won't listen to somebody who says, well, I did this and it fucking was horrible and I had this problem. I get those things, and I try to explain to people what I think that could be if they have a negative outcome from keto, because there's things that we do that you can fuck up any diet. Trust me, you can fuck up the raw carnivore diet, you can fuck up keto, you can fuck up carnivore. There's no guarantee when it comes to diet. So let me see what else I had pulled out here.
I didn't want to have to show the negative email that guy sent me about how he acted. I didn't want to have to show the video of him talking about how he touched a girl in her sleep. I didn't want to have to show a video of or the post on the forum about him being obsessed with the Columbine shooting. I did not want to do any of that stuff. I didn't. But he doesn't seem like a reasonable person, and I need to disassociate myself with him. And honestly, I had a really fucking shitty day at work. I sat in my car for 3 hours each way. Well, 3 hours on the way home and an hour on the way down there. So I sat in my car for 4 hours today, and him personally attacking me and calling me gay, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want at this point. So, well, that's actually not true, considering that everything I've presented in this video, every single thing I presented in this video, I have not put words, I have not said anything of opinion. Everything that I've said has been something from someone else's mouth.
Bottom line, you know, I equally think both these motherfuckers are just off their game at this point. Some of Frank's talks have been spot on. I've been happy with them. I've been interested to hear his story because he's done the carnivore diet for so long. And Sv3ridge, the same thing. Now, do I think both of these guys are 100% right about everything? Absolutely not. All right? And neither am I. No one has nailed nutrition. No one. We all have an opinion. We all have this, you know, thing that we got results with that might not work for everybody for a variety of reasons. And we really need to take a step down from our fucking soapbox every now and then and look around and evaluate ourselves to make sure that we aren't slipping over that edge. And I probably have a few times. I think I have. But I'm trying to keep that self-awareness going to where I don't buy too much into my own shit, to question my shit. And there's times when I think something is right, and you can go back through my YouTube history. When I first started this journey, I thought I knew everything because I was fasting. I was an expert on fasting, except I never touted myself as an expert. But I had a strong opinion that later on in my journey I found to be wrong, like the whole water fasting and metabolism drop. You know, I read all of this shit that said fucking your metabolism doesn't tank when you fast, because in the first 72 hours it doesn't. It goes up a little. But then after 4 or 5 days, it starts to drop. I did not know that back then, but I know it now. And that, I believe that journey is valuable, and I left those videos up, even though some of them are a little off. Because somebody, if they were starting my videos then and kind of just going through my whole journey from start to finish, they would still arrive at the same place I did if they chose to. I'm not suggesting that you do that. I'm suggesting you do your homework. I'm suggesting that I bring your attention to some things I have a strong opinion about, but I want you to go out and research these things. Watch these lectures yourself, because I'm giving you my interpretation of them. You might have a different one. You might catch something that I missed when you read a study. You might get a different piece of the puzzle, and then you should share that with everyone around you, including us. And us as YouTubers, we shouldn't take a complete dump on that. You know, unless we have solid proof, then we can argue and debate. And I've had those kind of comments, even in recent days, where people came, talked to me personally, or commented personally, or emailed, and I responded. And I responded with what I knew. But in the end, it's time that's going to tell. It's our own results. And I get a lot of feedback from a lot of you saying that the things I've said and pointed you towards and the information I've given you has helped you along. Some people even attributing all their weight loss to me. Now, I could take that and run with it and be like, I'm a fucking nutrition god and shit. But I'm not. I just pointed some shit out that I tried that other people are trying, and it's getting them similar results to what I did. That doesn't make me any better than anybody else. Doesn't make me superior. Doesn't mean I'm, worried about who I'm associated with on YouTube. I'm pretty much me. Whether I watch Freely the Banana Girl or Sv3ridge. Notice there's the opposite ends of a spectrum there. Just saying. So let's all take a step back. Quit fucking sniffing our own shit all day. And maybe, just maybe, we'll all help make the world a healthier fucking place. Because you want to know who's really benefiting when you guys are rolling around in the mud like this? The food companies. The pharmaceutical industries. When you do something ridiculous, like walk around a vegan rally with blood all over you and carrying a fucking full chicken and gnawing on it in front of the cops, you know who benefits? All the companies that are promoting a vegan-based diet. Because everybody at that place is not going to take you seriously at that point. You'll shock them. They'll be aware that you eat raw shit. But every time you talk to them, they're going to either be like, oh, whatever. You're not going to convert anybody who isn't already on the way, is what I'm saying. You're not going to take one of them vegans, the evangelical vegans, and be like, look, see, I'm eating this. I'm not dead. I got blood on me. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. They're not going to take you seriously. They're not going to do. All you're doing is saying that they're wrong and you're right. And that is not the way to get people to try this shit. And I know I've done this in my personal life, with some people. I've gotten in arguments and then I gave up. And that's how I learned to, take a step back. People aren't going to agree with you. People aren't going to try it. I wish more people would do this diet. And that's why I have this channel. It's to try and reason with people in a approachable way, for the most part. But to reach people who won't sit through a 1-hour fucking science lecture or read an entire study. And I feel like I'm just bringing them, saying, look, I found this over here. Let's go over here and take a look. And that's important. And that's what we should get back to instead of this back and forth, vegan versus carnivore, vegan versus keto, keto versus vegan shit. State your opinions. Have a healthy discourse. Stop rolling around in the mud for clicks. It's transparent that's why this whole drama erupted. In fact, the woman who started this entire drama was doing so to promote her channel. And hey, it is what it is. You're trying to start up, but I wouldn't start up that way. And I didn't. I started up just talking to the camera, saying, look, this is what I do. I never expected to get where I am today, and I don't know how far it'll go. I don't know when it'll be over. But I'm going to keep sharing. I'm going to keep researching. I'm going to keep doing these experiments, and there are some experiments coming up. So, remember, none of us are fucking experts. We're all assholes. Please like and subscribe for more motherfucking videos. And I'm going to make as many fucking videos as possible. And I'm not going to put them all here on YouTube. Some of them you will find on ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Some of them you will find on Minds.com. I am currently only posting non-mirrored posts as far as stuff I watch, things I do on Minds.com. So if you want to join me there, there's a link to sign up with them in the description. It's a referral link, so I get extra tokens and shit for promoting my videos, which by the way, I just go on there and I can get 1,000, 3,000 views, 4,000 views just by interacting with people and being social. Or I can even spend money and drive that up even higher, but not a lot of money. That's what I do. And that's why I'm there, because I like that platform. So I hope to see you there. I hope that you can avoid rolling around in mud with us on this. I know I stuck my toe in the mud in this fucking video a little bit. But I want to get through to people that this is not a cult that we're in. This is our health. We should take it seriously. And we should not just listen to motherfuckers like me and make a very serious life-altering decision based solely on one person's opinion. Do your homework. Do your research. Try things for yourself. Consult with healthcare people if you're on fucking medication, but be picky about your healthcare. If your doctor is kind of out of whack, then go talk to a doctor who's more informed. And you can tell when a doctor doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about if you do your homework enough. And that's the point. Educate yourselves. Don't just be lazy and follow Sv3ridge or Frank or me or, anybody. Just take it as an anecdotal evidence of whether or not something works. And then go further with it and research and experiment yourself. But be careful. There's eating fucking rotten meat's something I'm still very skeptical of. And only because I know a lot about survival and wilderness survival. And so I take that shit with a grain of salt. Well, this video's getting too fucking long and shit. We're almost at an hour, so I better end it. By the time you're watching this, I'll probably be in the process of posting or will have posted my weekly podcast. Next week, I will do a live podcast. I said I was going to do one of those a month. So look forward to that. That's going to be on Fridays. I generally get my podcast up by 6 or 7 Eastern time. And that's just $5 a download, and it helps support the channel while giving you 2 more hours of audio content to listen to while you're sitting on the bowl or whether you're pounding the fuckmaster. As for me, I will be doing a fat fast, 7-day fat fast, starting Monday. So look forward to that. I have introduced a few extra foods in my carnivore diet, or my, ketovore diet, that have had interesting results, and I'll talk about that in tomorrow's podcast and in a future video once the fast starts. So that's what you can look forward to here on my fucking channel, where I'm not going to go smear blood on my face or paint myself blue or anything. Might regrow the beard though. It's already kind of looking better. I miss it a little bit. So I hope we all learned today that we should just all get along here in the nutrition world and maybe have honest, non-mudslinging debates amongst ourselves without getting personal, without getting hardcore, without smearing each other, without public shaming each other, without taking pictures of each other or screenshots of emails of us being dicks. Everyone's an asshole, right? Remember? We're not experts, we're assholes. Well, that's real, all right? Nobody out here is perfect. Everyone has their faults. Wouldn't be human if we didn't have fucking problems. I've been an asshole. There's things I've done in my life that I regret. Did I learn from them? Yeah. Am I different now than I was back in the day? Yes, definitely. Far cry from what I was back in the day. So, keep it in perspective, too. That's the other thing I'm noticing as we're digging into each other's pasts. It's happened all over Twitter. It's happened all over YouTube. I can just keep going with this, really. It's happened to all these fucking platforms. People are digging up people's past. Well, you know what? We were all dumb in our past. I know I was. People get stupid when they're young. If you're young, I'm sorry. Don't take that the wrong way. But you got a little bit of life experience ahead of you, and when you're old, you'll probably be like, wow, I shouldn't have done that. I'm a piece of shit. That's kind of what to think about here. That's one of the things I'm noticing is everybody's digging into each other's history and past and trying to use that as ammo to assassinate them, you know, their character or whatever. No. Now, let's rise above it and realize that people do change over time, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're really assholes, and that's who they are. Take them or leave them. And if you don't like them, leave them. Don't get them banned. Don't try and flag them to death. Don't try and destroy their life. Destroy their means of making a living, which is essentially what the two of you are doing to each other right now. You're taking away from each other. It's not right. You know, it's not how you approach it. If you don't like someone, state your opinion and ignore them. Being like, I don't like this person for this reason. Like I did pretty much with Jillian Michaels. I said, I don't like this person for this reason. And then I left it at that. I'm not out there like commenting on her shit. I'm not trying to get her banned off of TV. I'm not trying to go on Twitter and start a big Twitter war with her. No. I got a lot of clicks on that. I could have rode that fucking wave like every other fucking keto YouTuber rode with abandon, you know? I could have gotten a couple of good fucking ad revenue generating videos out of that. I didn't. I said my piece and I moved on. So let's move on from this, fellas, if you happen to make it an hour into my fucking video. So, hope to see you all fucking work this shit out and get back to your normally fucking scheduled vegan hating content and shit. And I'm definitely leaning away from that raw carnivore shit. Even though I eat my meat like bloody red, barely cooked in the middle. But it's working out for me. Have a nice motherfucking day and shit. I feel like I wasted a bit of my life today on this drama. Well, if only I had that time back.